What's up guys, this is the new Roku Ultra 2024 edition, just came out. I'm going to, well, in fact I already did unbox it. So we got the power supply, it's 100 to 240 volts, output is 12 volts at 1.5 amps, which means it's 18 watts of power. Comes with an HDMI cable, USB-A to USB-C. And here is the new remote. So let me compare it to the old one just so you guys could see. So this is from the 2022 Ultra. And essentially they removed the 3.5mm audio jack. And the reason for that is because Roku now has a Bluetooth built in. At least that's what I think the reasoning is. And then pretty much you got the same set of buttons. This is your customizable button now, this rocket ship essentially. But very similar buttons, shortcuts, volume up, mute, everything like that. And it also, I should mention, it also charges via USB-C versus the micro USB. And it's now backlit, which is really, really nice. Obviously has the Find My feature. And here we have the new Roku Ultra 2024. This is the 2022 edition, and basically it's essentially identical. This one, it does say factory, it says reset for the factory reset. This one just has that little arrow going around. But other than that, everything is pretty much identical. The buttons, everything look identical. However, this new one is supposed to be 30% faster than the 2022 version, and it also supports Wi-Fi 6. Now, because it supports Wi-Fi 6, technically Wi-Fi 6, if you have fast enough internet speeds, should actually be faster than connecting it via Ethernet, which is why I'm kind of surprised why they didn't actually just, hook up gigabit. Now, 100 megabits per second on the Ethernet port should be enough. Honestly, it is enough, but it would be nice if this was gigabit. But we got the USB, we got HDMI, Ethernet, power, and then we got the Find My remote button, essentially, infrared, and yeah. So it took a few minutes to set up the Roku. You can see it's on the bottom left of the screen, and you can use your phone to actually speed things up. You scan the QR code, you can log in with your phone. You can also get the Roku controller app on your phone as well, and you could control it like this as well, which is really nice. So I was gonna say, in case you lost your controller, but you can actually click, if I have my controller right here, I can click the side button, and it finds it, which is nice. I actually really like that Find My remote feature. It's an awesome feature. All right, so I pretty much like almost everything about the Roku. The only thing that I'm like a little hit or miss is the voice commands. Sometimes they work well, sometimes they don't work at all. So we'll play with the voice towards the end, and I want to show you guys some speed tests and just show you guys the interface and stuff. So this is the same familiar feel with other Roku apps, with the previous Rokus that I've had. And if you want to move stuff around, let's say you want to move this, you can go here, you click on the little asterisk, that gives you additional options right here. Once my camera, there it is. Okay, so once you click on that, you click on Move App, and then you can move that around, and you're good to go. If you want to uninstall something, you can as well. So let's say if I wanted to uninstall ESPN, I could click on the little asterisk, and I could click on Remove App. Now, I've already done this with Disney Plus and Hulu because I don't have subscriptions to that, so there was no reason for me to keep it here. But there are a lot of apps that this thing does support. So now let's just see how fast things load real quick. I'm currently hooked up via Ethernet, so I'm going to click play, and I'm just going to fast forward real quick just to show you guys how quickly things load. Okay, so it's taking a second it took a second right there. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was faster. The second time around it was faster. But overall, I would say it's pretty fast. It's not instantaneous, but it is pretty fast. And then let's just try that with Crunchyroll. So this is the anime app. Crunchyroll is awesome, by the way. I just wanted to mention that. So this takes a little bit longer to load initially. And then when it's done, I could click on play, start watching. And let's just see how fast this thing loads. Okay, so it already loaded. Let me see if I can fast forward this. Okay, this one is almost instantaneous loading. Okay, this is super fast, as you guys could see. That was pretty much almost instantaneous. Very fast. Okay, so aside from the apps, you can do live TV as well. So you could click on the TV guide. You can also click on the guide on the controller as well, and just click on something, and then you can also change the channels like this as well. So it's kind of cool because you get a lot of live, and this is all included. You don't need to pay a separate subscription or anything like that for that. Obviously, the live TV does have advertisements and stuff, but you don't need to pay for it. The streaming boxes are all kind of similar to each other in terms of when you're in a certain ecosystem, it doesn't work super well. It works well enough, but it's not super well. For example, I'm going to do a voice command, by the way. Hey Roku, Top Gun Maverick. Okay, so I found it. Great. I click on OK. And then it shows me all the stuff I could watch it with, which is fantastic, right? If I have Paramount Plus, I could sign in and watch it and everything like that. And then I get to Prime, and it says, oh, it's from $3.99, available rent or buy, which is accurate. However, for my account, I actually purchased this. So if I click on this, it would be nice if it could check my account to see if I purchased it or not. That would actually be like really, really cool. But none of the streaming apps, none of the streaming players actually do that. The only one that would do that, and I clicked home by the way, the only one that would do that is the Fire TV, because that is Amazon's interface. So when I check something with Fire TV, it opens up Amazon's interface. All the other ones, like with Google, with Apple, with Roku, it doesn't detect it. And sometimes they don't even give Prime as an option. At least this gave Prime as an option. However, if you are searching for a show that is on Prime, that is included on Prime for free for everyone, it will find that. So for example, if I search for The King movie, so there is a new movie, it's called King. Okay, it's not, didn't find it. If I search for just King, it's not, let's just try it. King. Okay, see, that's not what I wanted. So I have to say King movie. King movie. Okay, this one. Okay, so this one, I click OK, and it says sign in or subscribe. That's because if you have a Prime subscription, this is actually included with that. So it does detect that. However, if you've purchased it, it won't detect it, like with Top Gun Maverick, which is not free for everyone. It's only if you've purchased it or rented it, basically. And your rental is currently still valid. And then you can also change themes and stuff as well. So there's also a bunch of sports you could watch. So you can subscribe to certain things and watch a bunch of sports. So there's no shortage of sports that you could watch on this. There's a whole bunch. Soccer, NHL, pretty much anything you can, again, soccer and golf, and there's a whole bunch of stuff you can watch with this. So again, does require subscription. Sometimes they give you like the MLS one said, oh, if you have Apple TV, it's free for a certain number of months, then you got to pay for it. But the option is there, which is nice. And then you can also change themes. So if you click on themes, I can actually change the theme pack. You can also change screensavers. So there's a bunch of options for that. And the cool thing is that when you change the theme, it changes the sound when I'm scrolling. So there's a lot of customizations with this. Now let's do that network internet test that I was talking about. So I'm going to click on check connection. I'm currently wired. And I'm saying this because if you have a fast router like Wi-Fi 6 or faster, Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 7, I would probably most likely go on Wi-Fi. So I basically clicked OK. This says good. And my internet download speed is 93 megabits per second. I'm going to unplug the Ethernet right now. So it's unplugged. And it says not connected. I'll give it a second. I'm going to click on setup connection. I'm going to do wireless. And okay, well, it should already know that. Connect. Okay. So I'm going to do check connection, and it's going to take a second. And my internet speeds are 5 gigabits per second upload and download, and I have a very fast router right now, a Wi-Fi 7 router, the Orbi 970. And you could see that the internet speed says 483 megabits per second. So it's actually much faster on Wi-Fi if you have a compatible Wi-Fi device. However, even on Ethernet, it was still very fast. Even loading stuff was still pretty fast. All right, so let's go to Netflix real quick and let's see if it improves the speed. So let's click play from beginning. Let it load real quick and then I'll fast forward it. Let's see how fast it loads.
I don't know what it is that you...
Yeah, I mean, the first fast forward was really fast, the second one not so much. But honestly, I couldn't even really tell much of a difference between my Ethernet connection and my Wi-Fi, which was almost 5 times faster than my Ethernet connection. So, or around 5 times faster, I should say. So, but yeah, you get a whole bunch of apps, streaming, you get a bunch of live TV. You also get the Roku channel, which is really nice. So, Roku channel, which they've had for a while now, they also have a bunch of free movies that you could select. So it's like live TV, but also not this one. That's not what I wanted. Sorry, the Roku channel. So you got the Roku Live, and then the Roku channel is kind of like Netflix, not really. So you could basically pick the movie that you want to watch, but the movies have ads. So for instance, if I wanted to watch this movie, I click watch. So it's really nice because I could pick the movie. And then those little diamonds, these little diamonds are where the ads are going to appear. So one there. So you guys could see that. But fast forward, press play. This thing is super fast for loading, essentially. So it's nice that if you get the Roku, you also get this Roku channel as well. And also, you can set up your photo streams, so you can upload photos or map some photos here, and it gives you a whole, like, if you play the video, it tells you how to set it up and everything like that. So you could basically set up Google and set Google to map with this as well. See, link albums from Google Photos. And then you can actually have that as your screensaver. So you can link your Google Photos and have that as a screensaver. And there's a bunch of other screensavers too. So in terms of customization, Roku might be #1 from all the streaming players that I've tested. Because you could change the theme. You could change... There's a lot of things you could change with this. So even in theme, you could change your screensaver. You could look at different screensavers. You could do the fire one. You could do this aquarium tank one. So there's a bunch of options that you could choose with Roku. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, smash that subscribe button. I will catch you guys in the next one.